Okay. So, so you guys, most of you should have at this point gotten the email. I sent it to Katie. I chose this image for us to kind of practice on. I had some others. I polled some friends. This was the one that sounded like we could, we could work on. This is an excellent way to first learn how to draw and learn, like your spatial awareness and things like that. So I'm gonna go into that. What I wanted is, and again, like if you didn't do this, that's fine. I'll go over it briefly. But you'll have regular paper that'll just look like this. So your squares will mimic the squares on here. So they're the same. And then quickly, for those of you who didn't do this process yet, let's see. I'm gonna actually switch my spotlight here. Where am I? Gallery view, sorry. I'm going to turn off my spotlight off my face.
Will you tell us what number pencil you're going to use each time?
Sure, yep.
Thanks.
Okay, so personally, right now I'm using a darker pencil, so this way it shows up on camera. But when if this were my project, I would use a lighter pencil. So I would definitely use right now, like an HB, something just right in the middle. I would use the HB if this were my project to start off as a sketch. This way you can erase any lines easily and they don't interfere with your drawing. The way I figure this out, again, if I'm like if this is elementary to you, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew what I was doing. So my pad is 11 by 14. I divided it because I know that I wanted the longer part, I wanted it to be 6 squares each. It came to 2.3. I narrowed it down to 2 just because I didn't feel like doing that much math. And then therefore, for my 3 down here, I wanted those to be 2 also because I wanted it to be a square. So I just ticked off every 2 inches. I ticked off every 2 inches here, and then just start to create a grid. So this is the part then, and I do want them to be equal amount of squares as the gridded picture. I did, when I printed this out, I did that on an app. It's called an Art Tools app, but it sounds like some of you had it like on other things that you could do that with to grid things. All right, so you guys get the point here. Right, and so, and just to, like, if my paper were bigger, again, it's just a question of doing the math. You would take your longer side and figure out how many squares fit, and then match it on your shorter side. And a lot of times I'll try to have equal numbers, even numbers, like 12 squares, so that it's, but it just depends on what you print out. If you're doing this with a photograph, same thing. You just want to make sure, even if it's like a little photograph, you want to make sure that, and they're little squares on the photograph, at least your squares match. So, all right. So before I go on to this, I just, let me get myself off gallery for me. Does anybody have questions about that?
What was the name of the app? Because I went online, but it was late to look for a gridding app. I did it manually, but you remember the name of it, or?
Yeah, it's called, where's my Art Tools? This is what it has this little A here. You see it?
Oh, is it actually called Art Tools?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if you were saying it's an art tool app, like the category.
Yeah, no, that it's the name of the app.
Okay, thanks.
So, and that's what, so, and if I could figure it out, anybody can, because I'm not, I have my skills, but computer isn't one of them. Okay. So, all right. Let me go back to this page. I was thinking, you know, to have like one of those magic television moments. So, all right. So I'm good to just to go on here. So now, so when this is something that's could be a little intimidating to look at something like this and be like, you know, how am I going to draw this? Especially if you're new to drawing, and again, it could be just a little intimidating. So you don't have to do it this way, but when I teach the kids, is I ask them to go square by square. You can even kind of just fold it so this way you're really just concentrating on one square, or just you know, block it out. But if I look at this square and I notice that this part of the bottle, this is a little dark. Can you guys see this? This part of the bottle doesn't start at the halfway point. It's almost at the halfway point. Maybe it is the halfway point. Definitely the shadow. So I'm going to start the top of my bottle, and it starts to fold out a little bit on this side, and the other part of my bottle is here. And so that's all I really want right now, is to just get the top of the bottle. Now, if those are anybody who's working on a different image, this is kind of like, this is what we're, right? If I'm going to flip this over a little bit, you know, again, you're just going to go square by square. Of course, this is dark to me. All right, the bell of the bottle, kind of, it's coming off the page a little bit, so I'm going to, but I can see this triangle in here, this negative space. So I want to recreate that. I want them to match. I was looking, this is a painting that I wanted a Cezanne, but this is probably somebody, it's like a Cezanne, but it's not him. So, all right, this top of the orange, right, I'm going to get in there in the corner of the orange, get the little, right? Right, again, square by square, right? From here, I'm going to continue my orange. And I'm going to come down. I want to leave, there's some space here at the bottom, and I want to leave that here. So if I just looked at this little pie shape right in here, that's my orange. Right? I'm going to get, there's a horizontal line here. Right? It looks like the bottom of the jar over here. I'm sorry, the bottle over here. Right? And you can start to see that it's starting to look a little like a bottle with a piece of fruit. I can then continue. It depends on how methodical you are. If you wanted to work in rows, that's fine. I like to work in shapes. So I'm going to come down here and match this line, and then I'm going to come around here and match this. Listen, if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. But if you're happy with your result, that's fine too. But this is definitely going to help us, you know, and we'll talk about shading and, you know, after this. And then for those of you who want to start with, you know, to add color, you know, I'm definitely going to encourage that. All right, so from here, I want to draw this edge of the bottle. Oh, and I just want to just stop and chase them. Am I going too fast? Am I okay? Are you guys okay? You guys are good? All right, just chat. All right, I got a thumbs up. If you can chat me if you think I'm going a little too quickly. And if you have questions, you can just jump right in, because it's just, again, it's a bit of a weird venue for me to, I can't really see how you guys are doing. So, all right, so I'm gonna just, this came maybe a little bigger. This ends right at the point of the orange, so I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna erase this. All right, so the edge of the bottle, can you guys see that? The edge of the bottle came to the edge of the orange, so I wanna fix that. I'm then going to get in this, a little bit of the fabric. The fabric starts on the edge. It has in the corner here of this box, comes up a little bit into this box. Just making sure that I'm covering that. Let me change this too so I can see what you see. It's a speaker view. Okay. All right. So the fabric is coming up a little bit. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to come down. And again, if the lighter you draw, the easier it is for you to erase mistakes. All right, so this is a little bit of fabric. There's this little bump of fabric here. This comes up like this. And the orange stem is in here. This is coming around. And again, if I am going too quickly, just yell at me. So this is coming here. This is coming here. You can see there's not much in this square. It looks like a little bit of the shadow of the bottle. Would you guys say that that looks like a little bit of the shadow of the bottle? We can lightly pencil that in. If you're going to use color, or when we go to shade this, we can put that in there. I can just, because I would say, right, that definitely looks like some type of shadow. Come in here, right? I can come down to this box, and again, it's more fabric. Drawing fabric is one of the harder things to master, but again, when we're breaking things down into shapes, let's not forget our horizon line here. This is important to get this line here, because when the lemon comes in front of it, it's breaking the horizon line a bit. All right. I think I'm going to start my third line of drawing. This is a very clear, like, diagonal to me. There's a little bit of a fold in here, but if I'm starting to break this down into shapes right here, I just want to create that diagonal. I can see that it starts in the grid a little bit in, about 1/4 of an inch in, and then I'm going to come up. It doesn't go all the way, it kind of comes up like that. I'm going to break this down into shapes. Get this down in here with fabric. There's this little point shadow in here of the fabric. It comes like this. Checking on chats. We're good. Okay. All right, coming. This bump is around here. Now this lemon is pretty much takes up this whole square. So I don't want to just draw it as a circle. I still want to break it down into shapes. I want to have this come here. It has a little bit. So I want to create this negative space that I have in here. So I do look at that, right? As I said, this is breaking the horizon line in the front. So I am coming around here. I'm creating this negative space in here. So if you can see that what I'm doing is I'm not even, I feel personally, I feel like you take the intimidation out a little bit when you stop looking at it as a full thing, and just when you start breaking things down into shapes and looking at positive and negative shapes, you can kind of, yeah, so the lemon. Chat, no chats. Okay. All right, what else am I missing? I'm missing, there's a shadow in here. There's a little shadow that comes along in here. And the fabric starts at this part of the lemon, kind of comes up a little bit like this. Comes around. All right. I am in this next row of 4. Now, oh, here's something that's kind of important. I'm a righty. So I'm working from left to right. That's not just instinct, although, yeah, it could be because, you know, that's how we're used to reading and things like that. But it helps with, you know, a lot of people rest their hand on the paper. And so it helps with smudging. So, and seeing, like if I were here, I'd have a hard time seeing this way. So I'm purposely working, and I always do, you know, work this way. So this way, first of all, I don't drag my hand across the paper. And it doesn't get in my way. So I don't know if those of you who are lefties, if you guys started on the other side. It's just kind of natural to me. All right, so I am this bottom, I'm going to break this down into the shape. This just almost like a semicircle, this half circle right here to get this fruit. Let's call it an orange just for fun. I have no idea what it is, but you could see that it starts here, comes around, doesn't complete the square. Oops. I don't know if this is a piece of fruit also. All right. Again, this is this little shape in here. I'm creating that. I'm going to come around in here and make this little lemon. Come up. And I'm going to come into this square a little bit. Finish my orange. And this goes a little bit further. So I hope you're really, you know, that it takes, you know, some looking and where things start and where things end. And I'm going to work on some of these fabric folds. I'm going to bring this here. I can see that this fabric ends in this part of the lemon. So I want to bring this to here. the shadow in here. And again, when it comes to the fabric, this comes around here, comes down into here. All right. It looks like this square, this is coming off the page a little bit, but it's not, but it's ending, it's coming on this one, the square is coming around in here. I'm gonna get this fold that comes around here a little bit and then down. I had other choices of animals. I'm a, those of you who don't know me, I'm an animal artist, but I didn't want to force you guys to draw an animal the first time. If you wanted to do it another time, we could take a little poll about that. But I had a horse and a lion. Tiger, right? It was a tiger. Let's see. Let's get this. This orange comes around here. Right, you guys see this clear angle. And you can see that I am definitely, I'm starting and stopping and taking a minute and looking. I think, you know, taking a step back and looking at your art. Let's get this lemon. This is such a clear, even though it's a shadow, it's a shape right in here, this like witch's hat kind of shape right in here. So that helps me with my guideline with creating this. This comes to this here. This comes around here. I don't know if this is a fruit, but it kind of looks like one. But it ends here. I'm going to get this piece of this fabric coming out here and here. And again, if I'm going too quickly, please let me know. All right. Okay, let's get this bowl in here, and then I think that, right, there's a little bit of space where it starts. There's definitely a C shape that comes out here in the beginning. Comes around, it's going off the page. There's a little inch, a little half-inch space there. This comes around. To here. I don't have to worry right now about the shadows in the bowl. I just want to get the bowl sketched out. If you wanted to put the patterns of the bowl, this leaf is in this corner. This is going around. The stem is right along this line. And then whatever this is, these like little berries or something. Let's see, did I miss anything? gonna take a minute. Let's see. All right. Curious how we're doing. What time is it? We have a half an hour left, so that's good. Questions? Anybody have anything to jump into? Anybody feel, did I go a little too quickly, or how are we doing?
No, I just had to remember that we're just doing the outline. I was starting to work in too much detail.
Okay.
And I'm working for a photograph. It's probably much too challenging, but I figured, why not?
Yeah.
And, like, do some people tend to work larger than smaller, or that's like a personal thing? Like, I always go back, I'm like, oh, that's too big. Mostly for me, it's too big.
Okay. So, you know, it really depends on the paper that you have. And so what to say, you know, what people, I think people gravitate, you know, especially because I work with children so much, and I think people gravitate towards working smaller. I think to work larger intimidates people, but you know, that I think
I
then
guess what I'm saying is, like, when I'm looking at something,
yeah.
Are we thinking the same thing?
So when you're looking at, you mean
Yeah.
like your reference image?
Yeah, my reference, and then I draw something, I'm like, oh, that's like the scale of it.
Okay. Well, that's what the grid should help you with your scale. So the grid's
Yeah.
actually a good way to make you to enlarge things. Like I don't know if you were here when the beginning of class we were talking about, like, you know, set design and painting a backdrop, and it had kind of starting with a little gridded like postcard, and then making it into a large set design painting. So it's definitely a good way to get your proportions down and blow things up and make it into a larger scale. Um, so yeah, I always will start with the outline. I will go into shading a little bit, but I wanted to have a conversation first before I moved on a little. This would definitely work well with doing portraits. That was another thing. I had, I'll show you the other images. And if you want to, I mean, again, there's only 4 classes. So, you know, I could definitely take a poll in terms of what everybody wants to learn. But this was my other choice, was to have, and this helps, you know, with oh, you can definitely do a portrait, but the portrait of the animal, the tiger, this is gridded also. But I was looking at shapes. I was looking at things that you could break down into shapes. So I was going back and forth. But again, I didn't want to force my animal passions to you guys. So so I thought this was, you know, again, you know, and then going into what we did last week, this was like a good transition. So
I have a question.
Nancy, is there some way that, or something that sheer beginners would have, like, exercises to do? Like even my round figures are not round.
okay.
I mean, like, I'm a stark beginner. A lot of these women have a lot of experience, and it's a little bit intimidating when you see their work.
Oh, I
So
see.
are there, like, exercises to do? Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, you know, I think that practice is one of those things. And I am trying to gear this towards like a stark beginner in terms of, you know,
Because
you know,
even this
breaking.
is way over my head.
Oh, you feel okay.
I feel like it's,
So I
you
just see
know,
iPad 2. What is your name?
Diane. iPad 2, Diane. I don't know why my name doesn't come up.
Okay.
Nancy, I have a question.
Okay.
In the picture, it looks like a spoon, but on the paper that we just drew, I don't see the spoon really. I just see, I don't know what I see.
I don't see a spoon.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, if I look at the picture that we were sent, there's a spoon
Oh,
on the left-hand side by the
I,
orange.
I think it's a piece of fabric, not a spoon. I see what you're seeing though.
Oh, it's a piece of plywood?
No, fabric.
Fabric.
It might be
It's-
fabric, Marilyn.
You're
What?
talking about the middle row, the second square from the
Yeah,
left.
that right there. I thought that was a spoon.
It's fabric.
It's
yeah,
fabric.
the white
Ah.
fabric starts underneath the vase and then continues all the way around.
Oh, you know why? Because when I printed it out, I only have a black and white printer. So that's why I was confused. Now I see what you're saying. Okay.
So,
Yep.
Gloria, you had a question?
Yes, I did. You drew a horizon line, and I just don't see it in this picture.
It's not there.
Is
So
it
that's a-
really here, or is it just something that?
So
you
it was
wanted to
just, there's a line here by this orange.
Oh,
So this just kind of shows a little bit of ground in here, and I wanted to break that horizon, and then this lemon breaks it. This whatever is going on over here, that breaks it also. It kind of just shows a little bit of depth back there. So
okay.
there isn't a very clear horizon line on this.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Thanks.
And, all right. Diane, I will definitely help you. Okay, and get you to a place where you feel comfortable. So thank you for those. There's information on how you change your name in the chat. Let's see. Did you?
Nancy,
Yes.
this is Camille.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it where people give numbers to the grids and letters to the grids, because I kind of lost you at one point, and I have two squares that look the same. So if it was like 1A, I would know.
I see.
2A or 3A. I actually have two 3As. I don't know. I don't want to confuse anyone.
No. Hey, you know what? We all work differently. If you feel like that would be helpful. Personally, like for me, like that would be like one other thing that I'd have to erase. So but if you feel like that would work for you, then that's great. That's a great advice. To number it. That was another way. Like in the beginning, I was saying if you wanted to fold it and work square by square that way, and not have, that's another way, Camille, to and not get have other things to have your eye on. So that's another way. So this way you have some less to draw on. But so Diane, you emailed me, correct? I have your email. So I'll write to her separately.
Okay,
I
thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes, you emailed me.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
What
What I'll do is I'll send you beginning drawing, like practice sheets. Would that, you think
Okay.
that would help you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, I do.
All right. If there's anybody else
Thank
that feels like they could, I can. Oh yeah, Mana.
Can you send one to me too, Carla?
You know what I'll do is I'll send them to everybody. I'll and then those of you who feel like you want it, then you can utilize it. So that's what I'll do is I'll ask Katie to do the beginning.
Are you going to show us these videos after the lessons like the other classes?
I know that they exist. I wasn't going to show them. I know that they exist on YouTube. Like,
Well, I couldn't find them on YouTube.
all right, well, I'll ask Katie. to send that out. I think, I looked once, it's something that, personally, I don't want to watch. But I know that some of the other classes were on it. So did anybody see last week's lesson on YouTube? No, I see.
You have to go to Mill YouTube.
Okay.
And then you'll see a yoga class, an exercise class. I have not seen an art class. Oh, yes, I did see. Yeah.
The decoupage class I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There.
All right. So that's what I'll do is I'll send some.
Nancy, I'm trying to change my name, but I seem to be able to do it. I clicked on those 3 dots and it gives me settings, but it doesn't give me a change your name. It just says show name.
That's where you change.
Probably in the settings, you have to allow it.
I'm sorry, I don't, that's
all right. I'll just
that I can't
say
help
I've
you.
had to. That's
Um,
fine.
I can talk her through it if you want.
All right, thanks, Johnny. Can you do that, please?
Real quick. If you look at your menu, you'll see participants, and click on that. Find your name. Find your name and scroll. And if you highlight your name, it'll have the button for more, and there's a button there for rename.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. So I was going to go into this a little bit and just start to block out some shadows, if that's okay, and just so that we can get that part. The reason why I'm hesitating is that I don't know whether or not I should erase the grid now, or if I should still go with the grid with the shadows.
Keep it. Yeah.
Keep the grid. Okay. That helped me make my decision. All right. So I'm going to go with my more obvious ones. And there's something else I'm definitely going to send. Katie's going to love me because I'm going to send her a whole bunch of things for you guys. All right. Very, very clear shadow to me on here. My hands are still spotlighted, correct? Very clear shadow to me is this edge of the vase. So if this were a still life, like what we talked about last week, remember that I had my light source, over, so clearly whoever painted this is, and I'm pretty certain.
Cezanne.
It looks like a Cezanne, but I don't think it is.
No, it is. I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm not positive, but I checked on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I was looking for a Cezanne. Everything else had his name. This didn't have his name. So that's why anyway, because he would, he's like the quote, like the father of modernism, and his stuff was just had a little bit more abstract, so that I felt like would create a little confusion. But maybe that was his later things that, I truthfully didn't research as much as I should have. Okay, so I'm going to go into with a little bit of a darker pencil. I've been using a darker pencil for the purposes of demonstration, but I'm going to, now it's time you can use a darker pencil just to start to.
What number?
We broke this down into, one second, into line. Now we're going to start to get some form with some shadows. We're looking at our shadows as if they're shapes. What was the question?
What number pencil?
Okay, I use a 2B or a 4B, if that's what you have. All right. I'm going to start to, again, block in some shadows. We're going to talk a little bit about cross-hatching throughout the. Yeah. So I went in this direction here, but I want this to show some round. This might be a little bit more advanced. So if it is, I apologize, but all right. I am gonna, this is called a cross hatching. There, this is showing my, that's a frustrating sigh.
I can't keep up with you.
I'm sorry. What, do you have questions? Is that Doris, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, what can,
I'm just way slower than
Having a
you.
late breakfast,
okay, all right. So,
like Matt.
yeah,
When you shadow, are you shadowing in one direction? I mean,
well, okay. So that's a really good question. So that's, so I apologize. I am going in one direction first.
Right. I've been skipping a lot of meals this summer just because of, I don't know, different things when I get up or
Okay, I don't know,
like
whoever's
doing
talking,
intermittent
you're on,
fasting. No, I am muted.
no, you're not muted, Jane.
We can all hear you.
So, okay, there you go. All right. So yeah, okay, so I'm not even gonna go there yet. I'm gonna just, right now, I'm just gonna shadow in one direction. I will talk, we'll talk a little bit about shading. That's one of the papers I will definitely send you guys, is talking about shading, and then we can work on that a little bit next week. And I know that some of you are interested in getting color. They wanted to, somebody wrote to me that they're interested in putting like either a watercolor wash on this or a gouache, which I wholeheartedly, support, and I think that's great. All right, but this vase is behind, so you can see that I'm shading the way I'm holding my, and I'm not even going to go into the cross hatching part yet and all that stuff. That's after a worksheet. So Joya, this is where there's a horizon line in here, because it definitely shows that there's a line in here, and I'm making it a little darker. And then from here, I'm just gonna get a little bit, just to plant this orange down. So again, you kind of like, if you can, you know how you see like people, if they're drawing something, like they squint a little bit. If we can break these things down, if you can break the shadows down into shapes, it's another reason why I picked this image, is if you can break the shadows down into shapes and then just try to get them. And I'm just going in this direction. Right. If you remember that there was this very, very faint shadow right here of the bottle. All right, starting to look like something. All right.
by blocks don't match.
Your blocks don't match?
Visually, spatially, I was off in some places. I can see it now.
Okay. So yeah, that was like one of the things, like you can say, like I said, that you can to stop and take a look back, because that's where you would have caught that But you're in pencil, so you can erase it and you can fix it. Or if it doesn't bother you, just keep going and make it into like a happy accident, so, turn it into your own.
Nancy, I have
Yeah.
a question. When I look at the shadow of the bottle, yours looks so smooth and, faint. And mine's more like lines. It's kind of like the cross hatching you did before. Are you holding your pencil on the side? Is that how
I am. Yes, I am. I'm holding my pencil on the side. And I'm definitely trying to, I am definitely trying to, I'm not getting a hard line because I'm not drawing, I'm shading. So I'm using the edge of the pencil, and it's a softer pencil. It's a, so I'm trying to read is your name Lita? Is that your name?
Lita. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm using a 2B too,
2B.
but I guess if anything else needs practice. Mine doesn't look that way, but I'll keep trying.
Yeah. We're going to, I'm writing notes. There's something called a grayscale. If you want to take a minute and practice with me now, this is something that we'll talk about definitely next week. Grayscale, so in college, right, in art school, I spent an entire, I think we had 6-hour classes back, art studio classes. So when kids complain now, I'm like, yeah. So anyway, of practicing grayscale, and it's basically getting it dark, getting your starting dark, and then learning how to apply pressure enough to lighten it or let up your pressure, right? So this way it goes, and even this is, can you guys?
Let's see.
You can see, and this is really just learning how to get your tone, your grayscales, and this isn't nearly of what. So,
is there a kind of paper you recommend? I mean, I feel like mine is too pebbly. Would it be a smoother paper?
So what do you have? So I have regular drawing paper. Are you on like watercolor paper?
I have no idea because I don't have the cover to it.
If you're,
I just took a pad that I had.
Yes. Do you do watercolor? Do you
I
paint?
do. I have a little bit of everything. I just play. I play.
Right. If it's pebbly, it's probably watercolor paper because that absorbs your, it's made to absorb some water.
I see.
So yeah, drawing paper is usually smooth.
The flatter paper.
Yeah, usually it has a smooth surface.
Okay.
So, however, getting the texture from a watercolor paper, I personally like. So like it doesn't, like, again, back to no rules.
It's just different, right?
Yeah, it's just different.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. One of the things that I teach, and a lot of you know me from, is teaching the Zen art classes, the Zentangle classes, and that's made to be on like a smooth paper because the art of the the whole process is like that glide and having a smooth and not having the that's part of the process. But even that, I've worked on watercolor paper too, just to get a different technique. And again, even squinting your eyes and getting your shadows. I'm just curious if, so there's like 10 minutes left of class, but is there anybody that wants to share? You don't have to, no pressure.
So I'm a left-handed person, and I'm finding very, very difficult to go in the direction you're going. I guess I should start on the other side.
Yeah, you don't go in my direction then, go in your direction. So that's a really good point. I just can't see who's talking. Who's talking?
Doris.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, if it's more natural for you to go in what is it, this direction, Doris, to go this way?
No.
What's more comfortable for you?
Going from left to right.
So where I'm going on an angle, it's easier for you to go this way? To shade?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, do that then. So like, again, you know, some of these things are, you know, 30 years of habit for me, you know, if I have to be honest, you know, so, because after a while, you know, you fall into what works for you. So yeah, go left and right. And we'll definitely talk about some shading a little bit more. And then I'm just curious, like, how, I know, do a lot of you have color to use? Like
Colored pencils?
Colored pencils, watercolor, gouache, I see a thumbs up. So yeah, that's an option. It's definitely, Leonora, you have, Sharon, you have. So
Do you do it on top of the black?
yeah, you know, you could absolutely. So Katie, are you holding something up? Kate, you holding something up?
Yeah, but it's in shadow.
Can I spotlight you?
There. Okay.
I'm gonna spotlight you.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Impressive.
He's a great artist. Like,
Okay, so Kate is well practiced. So this don't be intimidated. She's been doing it for a while. This is lovely.
Yeah.
Can you tell me this is watercolor, correct?
this is watercolor.
Yes.
Wow.
Over the pencil drawing.
Over the pencil. So.
I have a question.
Thank
Is
you,
the
Kate.
goal to eventually erase the grid marks?
Yes, that is your goal.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So, yeah, that's why I was saying, like, should I erase them now before I finish the shading? Because now half my shading is going to get erased. But I do, you know, this for demonstration purposes, I wanted you guys to see. If this were my artwork, like if I were in the class, or, you know, if I was doing this on my own, I would erase the grids. Because if you can see Kate's painting, like, you couldn't see her grids anymore because you drew lightly, correct?
Yeah, I drew lightly and I erased them before I started any of the watercolor.
Yeah.
okay. I have a beginning watercolor.
Okay.
This is Camille, and I have blue. Can you see it?
No.
Not because you have a virtual background, I think.
Yeah, so I'm gonna spotlight you, but you gotta, it's because of your background. Let's see.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's the background.
It's your background. Oh, when you step back a little bit. Oh, okay, you got some blue in there. That looks great.
Yeah, I started with the background.
Okay, so, anybody else wanna?
Well, here's a beginner one. Let's see.
So.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks better on the computer than it does in front of me.
You know, the computer didn't do that. You know, that's so I have a question in the chat about what did you say, Robin? I'm sorry.
What's
the lesson for next week? Can we do a grid with animals? Yes. So I want to kind of take the idea of you know, shading and stuff into another level, and perhaps getting some color in there. If you want to, I can ask, if you're interested in either the tiger or the horse that I already gridded out, I can send that to you too, and you could do, if you prefer to do an animal, and then we'll kind of, so, all right, yeah. So I know it says, please do your planned lessons, but you know, I'm trying to accommodate everybody. So if somebody wants to do an animal, we're going to do an animal, and we'll definitely do, but I'll get everybody in there, you know, so, but yeah, so, Robin, if you're interested in, where are you? I can't see your face. Where is
I think next time, anybody who works on it at home and finishes could show the finished ones.
I would love that. And then
that'd be fun.
So, hi, Robin. So welcome to New Jersey.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't very well prepared today, so I'm just watching and enjoying your grid lesson.
Okay.
I don't have that much stuff with me, so I'll beef up for next week. If you could send me something to do, that would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, so what I'll do is, I have the horse and the tiger already gridded. I'm certainly fine with you guys, you know, doing your own. Is there anybody else who's working on their own image? Is there, Catherine, you're working on your own? Are you comfortable to share or no? You're muted, I don't hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't use what you sent.
Okay.
So I came up with a picture online. This is the still life.
All right, let me just,
wow.
Squash, and then again, this is like what I did.
Oh, that's great.
What I liked about it was I can get into the proportions a little better than if I just eyeballed it.
Okay. Okay, Leonora is also working on her own image. Let me find you. Nope, that's having a, where are you, Leonora? Hold up your picture.
I'll show it next week. I'm working on my own image. I'll show it next week.
Okay, that's fine. And then, but there's somebody here. Oh, Patricia. Is that Patty? No. I'm going to spotlight you. Okay. Hi. Let me see what can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So.
Okay. So this is a kind of a water holder and a peppermill and a peach.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of taking it, are you working from an image or?
Yes. No, I have some objects here arranged on the table.
All right. So that's kind of like, and in continuing to what we did last week.
Right, exactly.
Great. See, like I
have tried the grid way and I like it, but I decided since I knew how it worked, I would work on this.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. This is your class.
Right. Nancy, here's mine.
Hi, wait. Marilyn, I hear your voice. I just don't see your face. 1 second.
Well, you're going to see my picture.
Oh, there you are.
Very nice. Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Oh, that's great. Wow. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to add some color too.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I'll add some color. But see, I did make the spoon.
That's okay. That looks great. Thank you.
Very beginner.
Say again?
Very beginner, Amanda.
Okay, Manna. Can I spotlight you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. I'm super proud of you. That looks amazing. You don't look like a beginner.
Beginner, first time.
All right, that makes me feel good. That's good. So, because I'm worrying about like my pace. Donna, I see you.
I think I overshadowed, but my paper was not the right size, I think.
Nice.
So they were like oblong instead of like.
So it works, you know. It just you must have your grids were rectangles and not squares. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So I have to work on it. This is last week's. I finished last week's.
Oh, look at those apples. Wow, that looks great. Yeah. So, Wow, it's so, because, working with you guys. All right, thanks, Nancy. Yeah, class is just about over, but, it's so cool because, again, I've been with the mill for like about 2 years now, and just seeing how much the growth. So I know it might be frustrating because you're a beginner, but I'll try my best to get you there. And again, feel free to email me, and I'm reading your chats. I know, and I'm gonna send a whole bunch of things your way. Probably by Monday I'll get it all together. All right. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So have a good weekend. Stay cool.
Good weekend.